Commutative Property by Lily Flaherty. The commutative property Commutative property by Lily Flaherty. The commutative property is expressions with the same value. An example. Commutative property by Lily Flaherty. The commutative property is expressions with the same value. An example is a pink star plus a blue star is equal to a blue star plus a pink star. A basic example is 10 times 2 is equal to 2 times 10. A complex example is, in parentheses, 6.1 times plus x plus 8.4, which is equal to, in parentheses, x plus 6.1 plus 8.4. A fun fact is, you can only use the commutative property with multiplication and addition. An improper example is 15 minus 4 is equal to 4 minus 15. And another one is 16 divided by 2 is equal to 2 divided by 16. These are improper because if you switch them, you won't get the same answer.
Associative property. The associative property is a property that allows you to move the parentheses throughout the problem. The associative property can only be used when the problem is either addition or multiplication. If you look at my notes, it says you can only use the associative property when the operations are all the same. Also, you cannot move the terms throughout the problem. A correct example of using the associative property was by doing the problem 8 times, in parentheses, 5 times z. If you notice you can't multiply the 5 times z because you don't know what z equals. So if you move the parentheses over to 8 times 5, in parentheses, times z, then you'll know that you can simplify it to 40 times z. This is an incorrect way of using the associative property. If you look at the problem 8 times z times 5, in parentheses, you can't multiply that because you don't know what z is. But if you move the parentheses over to 8 times z, in parentheses, times 5, then you still don't know how to solve it because you don't know what z is. Why does it?
The distributive property is a rule of math that helps us solve multiplication and addition problems without the use of a calculator. Instead, you use basic math. In other words, the distributive property allows us to change the operations we do in certain types of problems. To distribute something means to give it to each member of a group. For example, a newspaper boy delivers newspapers to each house in a neighborhood. Example would be 5 times 4 plus 11. That is equal to 75. But when you use the distributive property, you can do 5 times 4, which is 20, and 5 times 11, which is 55, to get you to the same answer of 75. Stop. A common error is that not all terms originally in the parentheses are distributed. 5 times 4 plus 11 is commonly mistaken for 12 plus 11, which is incorrect. To get the correct answer, you must multiply 5 by 11. Try it. 5 times 41 is equal to 5 times 40 and 5 times 1. 5 times 40 is equal to 200 and 5 times 1 is equal to 5. When we add the two together, we get 205. Let's try a more complex problem. 7 times, in parentheses, 2 plus 6, subtract 4d, is equal to 7 times 2 plus 7 times 6, subtract 7 times 4d.